WWE underwent their Black Friday in addition to SmackDown going on in Des Moines, Iowa tonight. And the releases are really the bigger story than the show because the show really sucked. I'm not going to lie. It was such a filler show. It really shows when SmackDown has to be 3 hours that it can really, really suck. Because last week was probably the best SmackDown of the year. This week was just a bad show. And it was a situation where it wasn't necessarily that the content was horrible. It was as if they just weren't trying. You know, it's been a week now since Mania. Next week's the Backlash show. It's a negative news week because they're releasing all these people. Nothing big's happening this week and just have a filler show. And filler shows are bad when it's 2 hours. It's horrific and it's dreadful when it's a 3-hour show. Raw used to always have 3-hour filler shows, and they were brutal to get through. This was a brutal one to get through. Just no John Cena, and when John Cena's not on, you know it's not an important show. And it's in a smaller city. It's Des Moines, Iowa. It's not necessarily where it was in. It'd be a bigger city around there, around in the Midwest. It's not like it's in Chicago or somewhere around there, but it's just you're going to get a B-level show, and unfortunately we didn't get that. We got a D-level show. So I'm going to talk about the show, then I'll talk about the releases, because I'm going to do a video this week. I'm expecting more releases during the Royal Rumble and the post-Rumble cuts. They cut a whole bunch of people on Friday, and they cut a few more on Saturday, and I didn't really talk much about the people who got cut on Saturday, and that was a big thing because they made cuts after big events. And WrestleMania, every year there's cuts. We all knew what's coming, and I see the names. Some of them really surprised me. Some of them upset me a bit, and I'll talk about them more on the weekend, which I'm going to wait till Saturday, see who else they cut. I'm going to make a video about it, and then we'll go from there, because this happens every year, and it sucks to see people who you like get cut. But especially happens the second time because, you know, this is it. They're not coming back after this. Anyway, this show, you had Damian Priest and Jacob Fatu yelling backstage. LA Knight was walking by. He went to the ring. Damian Priest interrupts him, and they had a match get started. It went on for a while. Fans are totally behind LA Knight. Not a big reaction for Damian Priest. Solo Sikoa attacked Damian Priest, causing disqualification, and he had Damian and LA Knight beat down Solo together. Then Damian was going to give him a chokeslam through the announce booth, but then Jacob Fatu makes a save, and Fatu beat them both down, kicked both LA Knight and Damian Priest's ass, and he saved Solo. I was thinking Solo is such a loser. He really should be on the list before like Braun Strowman, and you know he's related to the right family. But Solo, to me, I've just lost total interest in. I don't care when he turns on Jacob. I'm just done with his character. For Axiom, an interview backstage by Byron Saxton, I was thinking to myself, yeah, they're going to lose to, not Fraxium, Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly's going to lose to Fraxium, and then they better not answer their phone on Saturday. But they interrupt Fraxium. Then you had the tag match. Fraxium won. It was a weird match. There was a weird kick up by one of Pretty Deadly's, and it seemed like the referee botched something, and one of them got busted open really bad in the mouth. It was just an awkward match here. You had BFAB and Mishin. Once again, I wouldn't want to check on if Saturday from BFAB, man. Don't answer your phone. Anyway, they asked Nick Aldis for a tag team title match, and Chelsea Green dresses up like she's in a funeral. She's wearing the Secret Service. She wants a recount for the match, and Aldis almost looked annoyed. A rematch. Says, you can't get the rematch right now. It's in Vega against Piper Niven tonight. I don't care about Chelsea Green in this gimmick anymore. It's kind of jumped the shark now. I'm almost over it now already. Nia Jax heads to the ring. Again, who gives a shit? Nepotism is why she keeps her job. Tiffy interrupts her, and I thought, oh, who wants this fucking feud to continue? Like, SmackDown fucking sucked tonight. I'm not going to lie. Naomi interrupted next. I'm thinking, I don't give a shit. Then Jade Cargill comes out, goes after Naomi. It leads to a brawl. Aldis makes a tag team match. He plays tribute to Teddy Long by saying, Playa. He winks into the camera. We all know you're referencing Teddy. I kind of like that, but we got a tag match there tonight. It's too bad we can't hear Teddy Long ever say, The Undertaker. It was always like that. He would always say his name at the end. But anyway, Carmelo Hayes and Miz are pissed off at Aleister Black. Miz comes to the ring for his match. Carmelo Hayes is with him. And we have Aleister Black come out. Not much of a reaction. Crowd didn't care. I didn't know why this match is so competitive. I'm so sick of The Miz. I don't care about The Miz. I have seen this guy for 20 fucking years on my television screen. I am over him. I don't need to see him anymore. I'm done with The Miz. I'm bored. It's the same thing. His character hasn't changed at all. I am over this guy. I'm over him. All the aura Aleister Black had last week is gone in a week, and he just thrown the black mass. He had to sit on with Carmelo Hayes after. Santos Escobar is criticizing Rey Fenix backstage for losing at WrestleMania to El Grande Americano. He challenged him to a match tonight. That's what Fenix did, and alright. I'm just waiting for Fenix to get back with Penta, and they can be the Lucha Bros in WWE. Zelina Vega's out for a match with Piper Niven. He had Zelina and Piper Niven. I'm sure Zelina was pretty sad because her best friend's Dakota Kai, and unfortunately she was cut. So this match wasn't much. Zelina just won with the rolled up. Not a huge match. Not a huge fan of this match. Just nothing really to it. Nick Aldis was backstage with Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Nick Aldis originally made a triple threat match with Fatu, Damian Priest, and LA Knight, but then Solo Sikoa started complaining that Drew McIntyre should be the one because he should be the number one contender, and then Nick Aldis agrees. So instead of making a singles match, which seemed what Solo was wanted, he makes a Fatal 4-Way match. So it's at Backlash, it's Jacob Fatu defending the United States Championship against Damian Priest, LA Knight, and now Drew McIntyre. So you had, after Jacob leaving, you had Solo accusing Nick Aldis of screwing Jacob, but then Aldis turns it back on him. It seems like you are. And clearly we're getting a turn. Solo's going to turn on Jacob eventually very soon. And I'm sure it's going to pop. The fans are going to pop when we finally hear Jacob Fatu say, "I hate you, Solo." Randy Orton's out next. He just cut a boring promo on John Cena. It was such a good promo exchange last week. I loved that. I thought Cena was so entertaining last week, especially when he pointed out the fan and flipped him off. He genuinely made me laugh out loud last week. Here, not much to this at all. It was just a boring, mundane promo. I didn't remember anything he said, to be honest. Last week was much better. Cena's on next week, I think, for SmackDown, because that when he's not on, that tells you the show doesn't mean anything. Nia Jax talked to Naomi backstage about their match. They both need to be on the same page. Rey Fenix is out next, and you had R-Truth telling Randy Orton that he's going to lose to John Cena. Jimmy Uso comes in, calms the situation down, talks the truth. It's just something for Jimmy to do. He has nothing to do. Truth is just entertaining, but it is what it is. Didn't really care anything that was said here. You had Rey Fenix and Santos Escobar. Escobar, no reaction. Again, I don't want to see anyone cut. I don't think Escobar is getting cut, but I can see Angel and Berto getting cut. I think I can see those two getting cut. But Escobar, no reaction. That's concerning, man. I know Iowa isn't necessarily the most lively crowd in the world, but getting no reaction. Ooh. Jade and Tiffany talk backstage about their tag team match. All I can think of is, wow, when you see them next to each other, it feels like, this could be a big female matchup one day. They agree to stay out of their own way, but, Jade's facing Nia Jax next week in a Raw Contenders match, so eventually we're going to get Jade and Tiffany, but I don't think it should happen right away. Santos Escobar yelled at Angel Garza and Berto backstage. Andrade then comes in and mocks Santos. Andrade has nothing to do. I'm just thinking, man, I hate to keep harping on this, but WWE just cuts people like crazy now. You never know who they're going to cut. If something doesn't change with this guy in the next year, he's gone. There is no way in hell he will survive the WrestleMania 42 cuts, the post-WrestleMania cuts next year. He won't survive the Rumble cuts next year, or maybe even like SummerSlam cuts. He's got to change it around, man. He's got to turn his fortunes around. Then they run down next week's show, and then we get the main event. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill against Naomi and Nia Jax. Jade pinned Nia Jax after a powerbomb. That tells you right next week Nia Jax is going to beat Jade because Naomi will interfere. That's what's going to happen. And Jade held Tiffany's title. Tiffy tried to get it back. It was a tug of war. It was like Jade was just messing with her. Then Naomi attacked Jade. And I just didn't care. I didn't care at all. This was a terrible SmackDown. Maybe the mood was sour, but the crowd didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit, and it seemed like half the wrestlers really gave a shit. Maybe a lot of them were down because a lot of their coworkers got cut today. So, that was the show. Now let's talk about some of the cuts. Briefly, I'm going to do a video about this, but here's some people I know that could have gone more people. I apologize. More people could have been cut by the time this comes out. And this is who I know right now. I'm not going to go in depth, but I'm going to do a video where I'm going to talk more about all the cuts and why I think they were cut, and if they can come back to the company one day. But I'm going to do that later. Here's who was cut right now. Braun Strowman, probably the biggest star who was cut. I think that's safe to say. Not a huge surprise when you look at what he said at the roast of WrestleMania. He went off on the company a bit. So when I heard him say that, I was thinking, they could cut him. They could cut him. Shayna Baszler, I think that was the most obvious one. No one should be surprised. If you were a fan of her, you should have known this was going to come. Dakota Kai, yeah, it really sucks. Always liked Dakota Kai. It was her injuries, I think, the reason why she was cut. I think she would have been still with the company if she never had as many injuries as she did. That's what it was. It's unfortunate. But I'll talk more about that in the video. Then you had Katana Chance and her tag team partner, Kaden Carter. They never really did much with them. Never really got over. It's unfortunate. Gigi Dolan, that one really upset me. Because if you saw so much, you just thought, oh, Mandy Rose, I'll talk more about that in the video, but all I can think of is Mandy Rose. You also had Jakara Jackson, and Now Ora Mensah was fired as well. When they split up the Metaphor, I knew Jakara would have trouble, and so I thought Ora was gone for sure, and he was. Jakara, I thought they could keep around. I thought they liked her because she's good looking, but didn't work out much for her. Yeah, Lash Legend, they have high hopes for her, but Jakara, I don't think they saw much in her. And then you had the big surprise in NXT. I was shocked. This was the one that surprised me the most, because the other ones I can see them keeping or cutting. I couldn't believe they fired Cora Jade. I am shocked. I can't believe they fired her. They pushed her like crazy. They always had her prominently featured. She even main evented the NXT PLE at a Vengeance Day in the Fatal 4-Way match. They really liked her. They had her in a TNA trying to get reps to get her to get better in the ring. It just seemed like they had high hopes for her to be a major female star on the main roster. I'm surprised. But I'll talk more about that in the video that I do this weekend. Then you had Eddie Thorpe, not surprised. Nothing much to him. Never got over. Unlike other stars who were cut, I saw nothing in this guy. I'm surprised they even brought him back. Then he had Riley Osborne. Again, he's cut out from Chase U. Didn't bring him back. I think he was kind of doomed. And then Gallus, they haven't been using in a long time. So a lot of these aren't surprising. It's unfortunate, but I'll talk more about them in the video. And there's going to be more cuts. We'll see who else gets cut. It won't surprise me if someone like Zoe Stark got cut. I thought she'd be more likely to get cut than Cora Jade or Dakota Kai or even, Gigi Dolan. I think those three are more valuable than Zoe Stark. There's other women who are just, someone like Nia Jax who has go away but she's untouchable because of who she's related to. So that's what it is. It's unfortunate, but going past the releases, going back to SmackDown, the show just sucked tonight. SmackDown sucked.